Okay, guys, this is my video on the return of the corporation. As about 2 or 3 weeks ago at SummerSlam, it was Mr. Fruity Pebbles himself, John Cena, versus the Yes Man, Daniel Bryan, for the WWE Championship with Triple H as the special guest referee. With Triple H being the guest referee, you knew something big was going to end it. Like, something was going to end in a big way. But nobody knew what it was. So, for the last couple of weeks, they were saying Daniel Bryan didn't have what it takes to be WWE Champion. But Triple H had that confidence in him. So, we go to the match. It's a back and forward match. They're destroying each other. Cena hits his basic 5 moves, doing probably like 20 times in the match, while Daniel Bryan is doing some of Cena's moves as well, but actually did them better than John Cena. But at the end of the day, John Cena loses. Daniel Bryan's the new WWE Champion. While he's celebrating, next thing you know, you hear Randy Orton's song go off. Here comes the Viper with his briefcase, which he has been doing for the last couple of weeks now, showing up and been tunning and teasing for a cash-in, but it hasn't actually happened. So he comes out, and Daniel Bryan's like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. If you finna cash in, let's go right now. So he drops the belt, and Randy Orton's looking at him, and Randy Orton decides, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. So he walks off, and as soon as he walks off, Daniel Bryan gets turned around, and out of nowhere, a pedigree right in the middle of the ring by Triple H. Everybody's in shock, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Next thing you know, Randy Orton gets in the ring, and he hands Triple H the briefcase. He rings for the bell. 1, 2, 3. We got a new WWE Champion, the Viper, Randy Orton, with Triple H standing tall with Randy Orton, while Daniel Bryan's helpless. And Triple H had a grin on his face, and so did Randy Orton. So at the end of SummerSlam, the question is, what the heck is going on? Could this be the return of Evolution or something? So we go to Raw the next night. John Cena comes out to a mixed reaction, as usual. Of course, me, I was booing him, because I don't like the guy as a wrestler. I think he sucks. But he comes out. He talks about he's going to be out for a couple of months. So the crowd goes, you know, yes, yes, yes. Which I think was great. I think it was one of his best moments in his whole career. But he leaves. But before he leaves, he calls out Daniel Bryan and thanks him. Well, Daniel Bryan's not in a good mood after what Triple H and Randy Orton did to him that night. So, you know, Daniel Bryan's in the ring. He's calling out Triple H and Randy. He wants to know answers. Next thing you know, here comes Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie comes out and says that Daniel Bryan needs to calm down, and that the reason that things happened to him last night was typically best for business. That Daniel Bryan didn't have the look of a corporate champion. He didn't have the look of the face of the company. She said he's a good wrestler, but he's a B+, a natural B+, not an A+, like a guy like Randy Orton. He didn't have the look. He didn't have what it takes to sell WWE like Randy Orton does. So Daniel Bryan doesn't like that. He's irate. He calling Stephanie McMahon names. Stephanie McMahon doesn't like his tone. So what does she do? She calls out the security to escort Daniel Bryan out the ring. But Daniel Bryan says he will be back. So we go to backstage, and we have Brad Maddox, and he's saying that, you know, since Dolph Ziggler has some bad words to say about what Triple H and Randy Orton did, he has a handicap match against The Shield. So he has his match against The Shield, Dolph Ziggler. He does pretty good for himself. You know, the crowd's behind him. But of course, the numbers game, as The Shield does what they do best. They go to work, and they leave Dolph Ziggler laying. So then, we go back to backstage later in the night, and we find out that the Big Show was also talking trash about what Triple H and Randy Orton did. So Brad Maddox put him in a handicap match against The Shield. But this time, they're all in the ring at the same time. So they start to jump Big Show. Well, you know Big Show, he's 7 foot, 500 pounds or whatever, and he's holding himself in there. He's not taking any good beat downs from the Shield. He's going back and forth until out of nowhere he gets the deadly spear by Roman Reigns, which pretty much lays Big Show out. So Big Show also gets laid out for talking down on Triple H. So we find out later that night that they're having a Randy Orton coronation to end the show. And so we see Stephanie McMahon going towards her father's office. I guess Vince is finna get ready to come out as well for this segment, when Brad Maddox walks up and says to Stephanie, hey, you know Daniel Bryan's back in the building, you know. And she's like, okay. So they go to the ring, and all of a sudden we see Triple H, Vince McMahon, Stephanie all standing in the ring. We see the Shield standing outside the ring, in front of the ring, which looks like their security, their bodyguards for Vince McMahon and Triple H. And you have the rest of the WWE locker room all standing on the stage. So they're all talking, and as we can see, Triple H and Vince McMahon are all on the same page once again. So next thing you know, they call out the new WWE champion, what they say, the new A+, the new face of the company, Randy Orton, the man who has the look. Randy Orton comes out, he hugs Triple H, shakes his hand, shakes Vince's hand. You know, then him and Stephanie have a little look in their face because of their history of when, you know, Randy Orton was attacking Stephanie back in the day. And they buried the hatchet. And next thing you know, Stephanie hugs Randy Orton with a big smile on her face, a big smile on his face. And I kind of loved it. I gotta tell you, I loved it. And so, next thing you know, they say, you know what, Daniel, we know you're in the building. How about you come out to the ring right now? So Triple H has the crowd start chanting, yes, yes, yes. Daniel Bryan comes out to the ring. He gets in the ring, but before he can get all the way in, he starts getting beat down by the Shield. But next thing you know, Daniel Bryan fights out of the Shield. He's almost in the ring again, but Roman Reigns spears him out of nowhere. And they're about to give Daniel Bryan the triple powerbomb on the outside when Triple H says, nah, that's not how I want to do things. Let him get in the ring. Let him speak. So before Daniel Bryan can get all the way in the ring once again, he's almost in there. As soon as he gets in, boom! RKO out of nowhere by Randy Orton, laying Daniel Bryan out. With Daniel Bryan laid out in the middle of the ring, what do we see? Vince McMahon, Stephanie, Triple H, and Randy Orton all holding hands, raising their arms up in the sky, which is very similar to when The Rock won the WWE title back at the Survivor Series in 1998, when Shane and Vince was holding The Rock's hands up. And for the last couple of weeks before this, I heard Vince McMahon them using, as we all watch Raw and SmackDown, we heard them using the word corporate a lot. And from that, with them raising Randy Orton's hand, that can only tell you one thing, that the corporation is back. And this time, who knows what they're going to do. And as for anybody who thinks that, well, this can be evolution. It's not evolution. It's not Evolution 2.0. Okay, people saying, well, we heard that Ric Flair, well, we know Ric Flair's back in WWE. Yeah, but Ric Flair, supposedly, he's on bad terms with the company right now. So, we don't even know if he's even going to do anything. And as for Batista, Batista's already getting furious with all of us, asking him, is he coming back and stuff. And plus, supposedly, Batista have a new movie he's working on, so it doesn't look like Batista's going to be part of this either. So I'm going to stick with, this is the return of the corporation, or what we like to call it nowadays, is the Corporation 2.0. And what are they going to do? Well, we have to see.